When I was sitting down and getting ready to film this video and putting my list of favorites together, one thing I didn't put on there, but I should have, is the shirt I'm wearing right now because I got it at a cake concert and I fucking love it. Hi everybody, it is that time again. Every quarter or so, every 3 months, I come here and I tell you about some of my favorite things. Because while I love to talk about being a conscious consumer, I love to talk about really thinking about the things you're going to buy before you buy them and really trying to make conscientious purchases, I guess the best way to put it. That doesn't mean I don't have things that I love. And because I'm on a no-buy this year, that playlist will be linked down below. Most of the things, this cake shirt excluded, that I'm talking about, most of them are things I've already had, and I'm just really loving them for whatever reason. So let's talk about my favorite things for the second quarter, springtime, if you will, of 2023. I'm going to talk about a couple of things that have made my dialysis life better this last quarter. Actually, amazingly better. Like work life actually is really what it's made amazingly better. If you have followed along with me at all, you know I am a home hemodialysis patient. I started doing home hemo. We did training starting in January of this year. So it's only been 5 months or so since we've been home, like second week of February, basically. And so while doing that, it is basically a second job, right? Or first job for me, really. But Jesse, also my husband, helps me with it. He's been able to really work while he's on it, but it was really hard for me to work because just when you have your access in one arm, you can't move that arm. You have to keep it still. And I'm used to doing a lot of computer work, and I thought I could do it on dialysis, but doing it on dialysis with one hand, especially editing videos, is really difficult. So I managed to come up with a setup that allows me to edit videos relatively seamlessly while I'm on dialysis, which freed up enough time for me to do things like create my latest series of fuckery flowers. So I'm feeling very smug about my setup and proud of it. And I'm basically bragging because I think I did a good job. 2 pieces of equipment, both of which one of which I already had and one of which I had been planning on getting for different reasons, are what enabled me to do this. And the first is my mouse. The mouse that I got is the Logitech Lift Vertical Ergonomic Mouse. If you see me glancing down, I have my notes on my laptop in my lap. This kind of mouse I wanted to get because I have tendinitis from years of hand lettering and cake decorating. I have a lot of tendinitis in my right hand and wrist, and I can't take ibuprofen, which is one of the most common ways to treat tendinitis because of kidney failure. So I just have to kind of suck it up and stretch and try to be more ergonomic. And this mouse was recommended to me. It's one where instead of putting your hand like this, you put it like this. It's like a sideways mouse, which was a little awkward to get the hang of, but it has been helping in terms of my wrist. But the other thing it's been doing is allowing me, because it's a Logitech mouse, you can program the different buttons on it. And so I programmed some of the buttons to do things like cut on the timeline and delete and redo. So a few of my most used hotkeys I programmed to that mouse, and with a little bit of retraining, it has become very helpful. The other cool thing about this mouse is if you're going to change the buttons out, when you're doing it in the Logitech software, it allows you to change them based on the program you're in. So I have like my Final Cut Pro mouse setup, but then I also have it for like other apps in my computer and whatnot. So you're not just bound, the buttons are not bound to just the one program and that's it. You can do multiple ones. It's very cool. And it's pink, so I love it. The one big issue, I guess, with it is that it is not rechargeable. The one I have, at least for the Mac, is not rechargeable. It just uses a couple of whatever size AAA or something batteries. However, it has been at 100% since I got it, and I have used the shit out of it for the last month. So I don't know how long. I think they said it takes a couple years for the batteries to die. So I guess that's okay. I would prefer a rechargeable mouse, but I'm okay with that. It's also Bluetooth, and I think you can change it to 3 different things. So like I can use it on my laptop, my computer downstairs, and my iPad. Great mouse. The other thing that I am using is the Elgato Stream Deck. I actually got this for my streams, but found I wasn't really using it, so it sort of went off to the appliance graveyard in my office for my work appliances. But I brought it back for this purpose. So a Stream Deck is a little deck used by streamers, obviously, with buttons that you can program to hotkeys in various programs, much like The mouse, you can do a separate set of hotkeys for depending on the program that you're in. What streamers use this for is to change which camera is on them, or to change their lights, or to run transitions. It's just a really quick way for them to hit a button and do something instead of having to do a bunch of different things on the computer at once. In Final Cut, I programmed the other bunch of regular hotkeys that I use to the Stream Deck so that I can hold it in my hand and use the keys without moving my arm. So between those two things, the mouse and the Stream Deck, I am able to edit videos while I'm on dialysis. It's a massive upgrade for me because I am on dialysis. I'm sitting in that chair 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, 20 hours a week. And even though some of that time is spent doing other things and sometimes I don't feel very good, if I can structure my work life around knowing that I'll be editing on one of these couple of days, that frees up an immense amount of time the rest of the week to do creative projects and to be sick. In terms of house stuff, I have some favorite things. And while I was on a no-buy for my house stuff, you can see in the upcoming video that I did wind up purchasing these prints behind me, and I'll talk more about that in my no-buy recap. However, these two prints plus the one in my bedroom, I'll insert pictures here of the different prints, all come from a place called Juniper Print Shop, and they have just, I can't tell you how satisfying it is to have gigantic art on my walls that is not only big and matches my color scheme, but it's actually from artists that I really want to support, and has, like, I picked it because I want to support the artist and because it looks great with my house, and it's not just like a generic big piece of art from like Home Goods or Target. Not that I'm hating on that. I have those things in my house too, but it was really important to me that some of the art in my house was art that was really thoughtfully purchased. That was art where I really want to support the artist, and it just is really suitable to what I was doing as opposed to just sort of something that I wouldn't feel guilty changing out at any given time. And these prints behind me in the living room are from an artist named Kelly Ventura. They are kind of a two set where you buy one. You can get one if you want to, but there's two that kind of go together without being matchy-matchy. And then the one in my bedroom is one called Montauk, and it is by an artist named Lorianne Gonzalez, which is both a beautiful piece for our room, but also my husband is from Long Island. It felt, not only because I love the artist, but because like it has a connection to like our lives. So I love those. If you want big art, what they do is they can sell prints in any variety of sizes. They can frame them, they can put them on canvas, but one thing they'll do is put them on this paper that works with the IKEA Bjorgstra, whatever, frames. And so it's a way to get huge art up on your walls without breaking your bank. So fuck yeah, Juniper Print Shop, rock and roll. The other thing is actually a returning favorite from last year, and that is my iced tea pitcher. I got this off of Amazon last year because I wanted to drink iced tea, but I hate waiting for iced tea. It makes me, when I want it, I fucking want it, right? And so what I would usually do is buy jugs of pre-made unsweetened iced tea because it was just easier and I didn't have to wait for it because I'm an impatient bitch. But I have so much tea that I really like, and a lot of it makes really good iced tea. So this pitcher that I got last year is a tall cylinder, and what it has in it is a filter. And you fill the little filter with 8 tablespoons of tea, of like loose tea. You can probably use tea bags as well to steep it. Just take the filter out and put the bags in if that's what you want to do. But you take the jug and you you take hot water, you put your tea in the filter, you fill the jug halfway with your boiling water or whatever temperature you need to, get it to the tea you're using, and then you steep the tea according to directions. And then once the steeping is done, you take out the filter, you fill the rest of the jug up with ice, and then you lid it, and then you fucking shake it like it's a shake weight until the whole jug feels cold. Like you'll know when the heat is gone, and then you can drink it. Just pour it over ice and drink it. It is the fastest way to make iced tea that I have found thus far, and it wasn't even expensive. It's fucking amazing. I throw it in the dishwasher. Oh my God. Last year we kept this thing going at all times with iced tea in the freezer or in the fridge, and we're doing it again this year. Fucking iced tea pitcher for the win. Beauty. I actually have a couple of favorites, and one of them is a long time favorite that I rediscovered because I'm using up everything that's in my cabinet right now. And the other one is new to me. The one that's a long time favorite that I had totally forgotten how much I liked is just plain ass Jergens body lotion. Just a big bottle of original body lotion, like the big bottle. It was like halfway full. I had shoved it into my, when you have like your cosmetics graveyard where like you have like half-used bottles of everything that you can't bring yourself to throw away. Well, I'm trying to go through that as I go through this no-buy, and I ran out of my body lotion that I was using. First it was my First Aid Beauty, and then it was the Bath & Body Works shit that I had, and I found the Jergens, and I was like, well, might as well go through this summer. I forgot how much I like it. It works really well. The cherry almond scent is like one of my favorite lotion scents of all time, and somehow I'd forgotten that. And I actually think, aside from in the winter when I need to get the more hardcore First Aid Beauty stuff, I think my cheap alternative for the rest of the year is going to be Jergens. I'm pretty sure. Go Jergens. It's a classic for a reason. The new item is my new night moisturizer. So I've been using the Olay Regenerist for fucking forever now, and I love it. But I wanted to try something different, maybe a little less expensive, because the Olay stuff is like 30 bucks. I wanted to see if I can get to like the 20 buck range. Well, I was looking to see if they had a version of the Neutrogena water gel that would work for me for nighttime when I need the extra hydration. And they have one that's like a cream, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to use that one or not, because I had heard that the cream can be a little heavy if you are acne prone. And as I have combination skin that is also very acne prone, especially during my period, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go there. Then I found they had something called a night pressed serum. And I was like, well, it's a serum. But when I looked online, most people seem to use it as a moisturizer. So I was like, why don't we give this a try? So it's in the same kind of container as your regular Neutrogena water gel, but it's this like thick, it's almost as if you combined like a cream with like a cleansing balm in terms of texture. It's got like a pseudo balmy, pseudo creamy texture. Hard to explain, but god damn it, I love it. It is thick. I would not wear it during the day. It does leave like a shine when you put it on at night, but by the morning it's all absorbed in, and it's working really well for me. No irritation. I didn't have any skin. Sometimes when I try a new skincare product, my skin goes a little wacko for the first couple of days when I try it, but this time, nothing. It's just working. It's just working. And I don't have any dry patches. I don't know how well it'll work in the winter when I tend to get really dry around this area because I live in Denver and there's no moisture here. That's hence also why I need the really hardcore body lotion in the winter, because my whole skin starts to dry out. But currently, for the summer at least, it is working beautifully. So, yay, Neutrogena. All right, I've got a couple food things, not recipes, well, sort of. Not really recipes, just a couple of things I'm doing lately, but I wanted to bring them up because they're fun to talk about. One is my Starbucks order. Now, in years past, my favorite Starbucks summertime order was white tea with, like a Trenta white tea with extra ice, because I love white tea with every bone in my body. They don't sell the white tea anymore. And I don't go to Starbucks as often because, like I said, I make my own iced tea at home. But if I am out and I am needing a refreshing beverage and I'm going to go to a Starbucks, then my order currently is a Trenta black unsweetened iced tea with extra ice and extra water, because I find Starbucks black tea to be a little tannic for me. If you don't know what tannins are, I know it mostly from wine tasting. The last place I lived for 10 years was Napa, and my husband's in the wine industry. But you also notice tannins in coffee and in tea, and it's that feeling of getting like that, like feeling in your mouth. That feeling, which you get from red wine and certain kinds of black tea, it's tannins. I find Starbucks iced tea to be extremely tannic. So adding the extra ice and the extra water waters it down, and suddenly I find it delightful. So not my favorite iced tea, I make that, but great for if I'm out and about. So that's my tip. The other tip is if you're okay with that kind of watered down tea taste, you can stretch the drink out by adding more ice to it later once the ice is melted. So, because I'm on dialysis, I can only drink so much fluid, and I just sort of nurse it throughout the day. The other thing I've been doing, and this is so random, and it happened because I was at a Whole Foods getting something because it just happened to be nearby me, and I went in there to get something, and I noticed in their cut fruit that they had cut up navel oranges, like with no peel, and I was like, this is some fucking convenience, and I love oranges, and I hate peeling them, so I bought the little cup of that, and I ate the shit out of it. But it's expensive because it's fucking Whole Foods. And most of the other grocery stores I go to, when they offer cut up fruit, don't offer, like they offer cut up fruits. It's like watermelon and pineapple and maybe strawberries. They don't offer fucking oranges. So I have now gotten into the habit of buying a couple oranges and cutting the skin off, like the skin, not even peeling the skin off, just cutting it off, and then chopping the oranges up and putting them in a bowl and with a lid on, and then just throughout the week chomping on that. And for some reason, I am eating more fruit because of that. So, tip, maybe, I don't know. Now we've gotten to the part of the video where I talk about planners and stationery items, and we're gonna actually start with an art supply, and that comes from finishing my fuckery flowers this past month, and that is the Holbein soft white colored pencil. So I prefer Prismacolor soft core colored pencils for the colored pencil work that I do in my paintings, because my paintings are mixed media. I like them because they have a wide color range. I like them because most places, like art stores, will carry individual colors, so it's easy to replace individual colors. And they are slightly less expensive than some of the other really, really good brands of colored pencils that I also enjoy, like Faber-Castell or Caran d'Ache. However, the white is not as vibrant as I would have liked. Well, a YouTuber I follow recommended the Holbein soft white pencil, and so I bought one of those thinking, this is really pricey. Do I really want to use this? Oh my God. Not only did I use it, I used it up, and I had to buy a second one. It is just very vibrant when used on top of other colors. It's like a creamy. The biggest issue I run into with it is that sharpening it, it's even harder to sharpen than my Prismacolors when it comes to how easily the sharpener kind of destroys the lead and makes you go through it faster. But when it comes to giving like a good pop of white on top of things, I didn't have to use any white gouache or any white paint pens this round of fuckery flowers like I've had to in the past, because this white colored pencil worked so well. So if you do colored pencil work, even if you don't use Holbein because they're pricey, give the white one a try. Secondly are a couple of mild liners that I got relatively recently. I think I actually might have gotten them last year at Go Wild, but I really, as I'm using my shit up and I've done some pen only plan with me's, have found myself gravitating towards them. And they are not the colors from the neutral set that I would gravitate towards. It's the olive green and the copper mild liners. Both of these come in the neutral set. I'll leave it linked below. And they both, one is like a warm coppery brown and the other is an olivey green. Like, duh. They are what they say they are. But they are both so gorgeous. So pretty. And I love them. And I just want to keep using them. What else can I fucking say? They're mild liners and I love them. And then finally, my final favorite, probably is no surprise if you've been paying attention to my most recent work planner videos, and that's Notion. I have my entire HB90 system is now in Notion. My content planning is entirely in Notion, and I've started to move personal stuff into it. I will still use a paper planner. I love paper planning, but Notion, I had to make the switch from ClickUp back to Notion because ClickUp was not working for me on dialysis. It was really difficult for me to do the things I wanted to do one-handed. I was just finding it a lot more clunky than it is normally for me. And I love ClickUp. Like, ClickUp is great, but on dialysis specifically, it was really hard for me to use. And Notion, I spent probably a good 2 weeks worth of dialysis sessions working on my Notion. Like, I never would have given myself that kind of time to work on it if I wasn't on dialysis, but being on dialysis, and I was, at that point, I hadn't figured out the whole editing on dialysis thing yet. I was like, what the fuck else am I gonna do? I've been playing hella Angry Birds and Plants vs. Zombies, but sooner or later, I need to do something else. And so I worked on my Notion for a good 2 weeks, got the whole HB90 system in there and everything, and suddenly it is working really well for me. So that if you are struggling with Notion, it's not an out-of-the-box solution. You do have to continue to iterate it and improve it, but my suggestion is to start small and build from there, which is what I was doing on dialysis. Start small, build from there. If you see someone with an extensive Notion setup, don't try to recreate that at first because it's a pain in the ass. So if you want more ideas on that, let me know in the comments. I am not a Notion educator by any means, but I have gotten some parts of it figured out and I'm loving it. And if you're wondering what the hell HB90 is, it's my work goal setting system. It's something that was created by Sarah from Heart Breathings. And she also has a fantastic Notion video on how she started using Notion and walked through how to set up your own HB90 page, which is what I used for the basis of my HB90 system. I'll leave that video linked down below too. But yeah, in general, Notion has been an absolute game changer for me in how I am organizing my work life and some of my personal life, mostly the TV shows and movies I'm watching, but now I'm working on kitchen management. Hopefully more on that to come. So those are all my favorite things for the last quarter. So this seems a little disjointed and all over the place. It's because I'm feeling a little disjointed and all over the place, but that doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying stuff. And so I did enjoy these. So let me know what you're enjoying, whether you're feeling disjointed or not. Give me a favorite thing in the comments so we can all be enabled. Because while I like conscious consumerism, that also involves, when you do buy things, really celebrating the things that work for you and that make you happy. So let's celebrate in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, friends, peace.